It's off comms. No one's heard anything.
I heard the transmission. The Knight went rogue. Scarecrow couldn't get him to stand down.
Yeah, Bat got rid of the gas, but doesn't matter. Scarecrow hit the... Ah, it's just us now, freak! Not gonna work!
A checkpoint in Drescher trying to cut off one of the roads. No chance.
It's a substantial compound, sir, and appears to be housing several drones. Be careful.
Be nice if Scarecrow got one of those freaking billboards and apologized for gassing us. Still waiting on that diagnostic report. The commander reported in a few minutes ago. Drones are active and online. Batman's not getting inside here. Well, if he does, he's a dead man. Oh, Scarecrow's fuming, man. No more gas is one thing, but no more cloudburst? Huh. He was gonna take that thing on tour. Who chooses to dress like a bat unless you got a few screws loose? Give me half the money they spent on this army, and I'd kill the bat in 2 seconds.
Investigating the body I discovered on the rooftop of Ted's Electronics will help track the killer. He's still out there and needs to be stopped.
I don't want to find out what Scarecrow's got planned next. safe up on the watchtower, but I don't know. From what I hear, not everyone was so lucky.
Investigating the body I discovered on the rooftop of Ted's Electronics will help track the killer. He's still out there. He needs to be stopped.
Man, this pollen's gonna play havoc with my sinuses.
Alfred, I found a mutilated body, but this isn't the one Cash told me about. I'm going to try and establish a cause of death. Blood tests reveal the cause of death was an overdose of painkillers leading to cardiac arrest. Also, the victim's fingerprints have been burned off with acid.
A rather unsavory demise.
That's not all. It's as though the subject's DNA has been corrupted somehow. There's insufficient information for me to cross-reference the database. I'll have to use the deep tissue scanner to analyze the body for distinguishing features and determine the victim's identity.
Right you are, sir.
Signs of trauma to the upper arm. At some point, titanium screws have been implanted to repair a fractured humerus. I've seen that pattern of scar tissue before. It's a bite mark. Analyzing its radius points to a species of Selachomorpha. This particular variety of shark is only found in the waters off the coast of North Gotham. The victim is fitted with an ocular prosthesis. This specific type of medical-grade acrylic was used only once during a trial 5 years ago. Alfred, the victim's name is Lisa Mendez.
She had quite a troubled upbringing, sir. Orphaned age 9, foster homes, drug abuse. She developed a talent for surfing, hence the shark attack. Tragically, it's also how she lost her boyfriend. She was working for a Christian charity in Tucson, Arizona, when she went missing.
What's unusual is that they didn't go missing in Gotham. They were brought here and killed. Why? We need to track down whoever did this.
Might I suggest keeping an ear out for any more of that ghastly opera music? It sounds ominously like a calling card.
this mess.
If I'm going to stop this killer, I should analyze the body I found on the rooftop of the Gotham Herald.
I'm joining with Scarecrow. I like working for Two-Face. Half the time, anyway.
Alfred, I found another body. The mutilation pattern looks to be identical to the previous murder victim.
Then it appears Gotham does indeed have a serial killer in its midst. And here I was thinking this evening couldn't get any worse.
I'm going to scan the body for unique identifiers. Remnants of a pacemaker fitted through the right ventricle. If I cross-reference the manufacturer with the pacing method, it will help to narrow the search. Clear signs of bone deformation on the victim's knee. Joint line sclerosis points to juvenile arthritis, a rare and debilitating condition. Scar tissue on the upper arm. I recognize the pattern. 20 years ago, this was a badge of honor among inmates at Blackgate Penitentiary. A small group of racketeers known as the Bloodhaven Six. Alfred, I've ID'd the victim as Franklin Accardo.
His records are a litany of drug-related offenses, sir. In and out of prison from an early age. He was serving a 20-year sentence at Blackgate before being released early on grounds of ill health due to a heart condition. He moved to Little Rock, Arkansas, which is where he was reported missing.
Another person taken from outside the Gotham area.
A significant detail, sir.
So are these words written beside the bodies. Try and find a connection between the two victims I've found, Alfred. There has to be something linking them together.
I'll try my best, sir.
Someone killed, mutilated, and posed a body on Merchant Bridge. If I'm going to stop them, then I need to investigate the crime scene for clues. Alfred, you can add a third victim to the list.
This is becoming rather ghastly, sir. It brings to mind a spate of murders at the beginning of your career. It was Halloween then, if I'm not mistaken. Turned out to be rather a long one, if I recall.
I'm going to try and identify the body. Deformity on the left ear. Looks like a result of minor ear agenesis, a birth defect. A wedding ring in the lower intestine. The inscription reads, Ophelia. The victim had a hip replacement. Scar tissue hasn't fully healed, so it must have been recent. Alfred, the victim's name is Anthony Lund. Hospital records show he suffered with alcoholism, most probably brought on by the breakdown of his marriage. The name on the ring, Ophelia, his ex-wife. He was last seen in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's 3 victims, all of them abducted in various places around the country. Keep looking for a connection, Alfred.
Right you are, sir.
The writing by the bodies suggests the killer has a higher purpose. It's as if these weren't good enough for what he has in mind.
Do you think there are other victims?
Yes, and I don't know what he has planned for them. Alfred, I found a 4th victim.
Highly regrettable, Master Bruce. All we can do is hope this body yields some clues as to the killer's identity.
An irregularity on the victim's chest. It appears to be a birthmark, quite distinctive. The left foot is missing several toes. The site of amputation suggests the removal of non-viable tissue in the treatment of frostbite. There's a bullet lodged deep in the upper bicep. This type of ammunition is predominantly used with a hunting rifle that hasn't been manufactured in over a decade. Alfred, I've ID'd the victim as Robert Kincaid.
He was a microbiologist who worked for Stag Enterprises. Many believe the shooting was connected to Kincaid's knowledge of controversial research, although that remains unverified. He took a teaching post in Atlanta, which is where he was reported missing.
Have you found anything linking the victims?
I can find no personal or professional links between the victims, but they each went missing near state parks or playing fields.
Try and find anything connecting those places.
Of course, sir. I'll look into it.
Abducting people, stripping away their identity, killing them. This man's deranged. He needs to be stopped.
Following the source of the opera music has proved fruitful so far this evening, sir. I suggest you continue.
The Arkham Knight took off. Just another cocky pretender.
I thought Catwoman's little predicament might encourage your participation. I realized, you see, that the kind of image-obsessed narcissist who places bat symbols on his hubcaps would never willingly submit himself to the kind of humiliation I have in store. Yet, here you are, Detective. The humiliation is waiting below. Well then, Detective, it begins. You are staring, with stupefied incomprehension, at a mechanism I have calibrated to respond to an extremely precise radar pulse. In a moment, I will give you the decrypted code, Dark Knight. Oh, but first, I think we should run through the ground rules for tonight's festivities. Rule the first. You will address me at all times as Riddler, the Riddler, or Mr. Nigma, sir. Otherwise, Detective, I expect your patented brand of churlish silence. Rule the second. What? How did you solve tonight's very first riddle? Well done. Well done. Welcome to my racetrack, Detective. You must complete 3 circuits of this gauntlet, finishing each before the time limit expires. Come now, Detective. Let's put that grotesque ego-mobile to the test. Be ready, Dark Knight. There's more to this test than just going vroom, vroom, really fast. Tick-tock, Detective, tick-tock. Can that ramshackle motor handle this? Come now, Detective. Time waits for no man. And I wait for no Batman. You are defeated. Too slow, Dark Knight. Too slow. Come on, Detective. Back to the start of the course. Faster, Batman, faster! Tortoise and hare-based allegorical narratives hold no truth here. Faster, Dark Knight, faster! Can those flickering, faltering synapses keep up with my automatically adjusting course?
I'm disabling the afterburner's failsafe. I need the extra speed.
Don't get too confused. Now, right! I'm shocked, Dark Knight. Is that really as fast as it goes? Careful, Dark Knight. That car has some value, even if you don't. Dark Knight, don't waste my time. It's several times more precious than yours. Once more onto the track, Dark Knight! Once more! Now pay attention, Detective. Go left. Oh, Detective, what's that I hear? Is it time's winged chariot hurrying near? You're close, Detective. Don't fumble now. Don't fumble. Hurry up, Detective. You stand marginally more of a chance of succeeding if you actually begin. Failure. You're too slow, Dark Knight. In every sense of the word. Let's try that last lap again. Aren't things clearer now that insane clown has been disposed of? Now you know who your real nemesis is. Or if you prefer, that Roman knockoff Mercury. Relax, Dark Knight. The ordeal is over. Such a pity the laws of physics prohibit me from testing my non-Euclidean designs. Now then, Detective, hop on the pressure pad beside me. Listen carefully, Dark Knight. Your friend's life depends on it. Back in the orphanage, a series of glass cabinets have appeared in front of Catwoman. Isn't that right, my dear?
I see them, Eddie.
Good. One of those cabinets, my dear, has your first key inside. The others, they contain less useful keys. Keys that will unlock the admittedly slight contents of your skull all over the orphanage walls. Your job, Detective, is simple. Figure out which cabinet Catwoman must open. And don't get it wrong.
Kill me. One of them won't. Great. I can do this.
Good luck, Catwoman. Given Batman's limited intelligence, I'm afraid...
Okay, Batman. Let's see if you're as smart as they say. One down.
Well done to the pair of you. That's the first key collected. Don't expect to be sinking your claws into too many more. Too many more.
I liked Batman's old car. You know, it had a kind of retro classic car thing going on. Didn't turn into a freaking tank either.
Who's giving the orders now? This is insane. No one's telling us what the hell's going on.
Alfred, I found a fifth victim.
I feared you would, sir.
This wound is relatively fresh, inflicted while the victim was still alive. Abrasion to the epidermal layers confirms the somewhat crude removal of a tattoo. The position of this scar indicates the victim underwent surgery to remove one of their kidneys. A plate made of tantalum, used here for a cranial fracture, most probably the result of a boxing accident. The victim's callous knuckles would only be acquired by a professional fighter. Alfred, the victim's name is Ella Montgomery.
It appears the kidney was donated to a twin sister who unfortunately died. This seems to have been the catalyst for her boxing pursuits, and hence the cranial injury. She went missing in Huntsville, Alabama.
Do the details of the disappearance match with the others?
They do indeed, sir. Also, your request to cross-reference the parks and playing fields has proved fruitful. I've come across some leasing documentation that appears to have been falsified. Someone is attempting to cover their tracks.
Find out anything you can, Alfred. We couldn't have done anything to prevent these deaths, but we can still save others.
Watch out for the bat. I'm not getting caught like last time.
Abducting people, stripping away their identity, killing them. This man's deranged. He needs to be stopped.
Following the source of the opera music has proved fruitful so far this evening, sir. I suggest you continue.